We're at a moment of higher risk globally than we've had since World War II. We have two ongoing conflicts, one in the Middle East, obviously, that is potentially poised to get worse over time, and an ongoing war in Ukraine that is unlikely, sadly, to be resolved anytime soon. We're already seeing shipping change. Attacks by Houthis have diverted major trade routes in a material way over the last several years.
Today's geopolitical conflicts don't just threaten shipping patterns, they also put seafarers at risk.
The conflicts of today are extremely worrying in terms of how it affects our seafarers, but also the shipping companies. Vessels going into Ukraine have unfortunately been hit. I mean, down in the Red Sea, targeting vessels as almost sacrificial lambs has changed the way that we see seafarers, but also shipping. The biggest risk in any shipping organization is human risk.
For us, there is no question about putting our seafarers at risk. This is binary. If the conflict continues, we don't think we are in a position to put our seafarers through this risk.
It's not just armed conflict affecting global commerce. Tensions between the United States and China are also changing the landscape of trade.
The relationship between two of our major superpowers, the United States and China, is critical to the way that trade around the world moves. As those two major superpowers start to have specific challenges with each other, they are understandably rerouting trade, particularly from China, into secondary environments like Vietnam. We've seen increased trade with places like India and other BRICS nations. If the bipolar dynamic continues, that kind of rerouting, as it were, and redesigning of global trade is very likely to continue and get bigger.
With so much global uncertainty, shipping executives need to navigate an unpredictable present while simultaneously planning for the future.
As a result of all of the geopolitical strife that we have now, I would suggest that what executives really need to do is to create adaptive capacity inside their firms. One cannot just focus on the long term, but one definitely shouldn't only be thinking quarter to quarter.
These geopolitics conflicts are something that is beyond people like us to predict. There will be different supply chains. Trade routes will become very different from what it is in a decade. What we as an industry can do is to be agnostic to these changes, be neutral, because our job is to supply, carry goods from point A to point B in the most efficient way, because that's what shipping is known to do.
Shipping is inherently contradictory in many ways because we have to look at short-term problems that we firefight every day, as well as safeguarding long-term assets. And so in the backdrop of extreme political volatility, it seems like it's more difficult than previous years. But one of the things we have to remember as an industry is that we've dealt with all kinds of political volatility over the long arc of history. Shipping has survived many world wars, many different regional conflicts, and it will continue to do so going forward. And so the successes and the opportunities will present themselves to those who are willing to adapt themselves to this new normal.